What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Shabazz, and welcome to the channel. So, I just finished watching the Netflix original series Yasuke, and to be honest, it was decent. It was actually decent. Netflix is prone to borrow from other series, but I think they made it themselves, and it was a lot to jam packed in 6 episodes. So first, I'm gonna give it a solid rating of 7.5, because there were moments that I really liked, but the reason I gave it a lower rating than it probably deserves is because for me it was very fast paced. I'm a guy, like, if you're gonna give one season to something, then that's fine, but you can make it like a 12 or 13 episode season, not a 6 episode season. So I kind of, and then also it was very fast paced, like a lot, like between the first episode and the 6th episode, a lot happened, and I feel like they could have not dragged it, of course, but I feel like they could have broke up some parts and like made it longer. Cause I get the satisfaction of when this is spoilers, of course, like spoiler warning. This is gonna be spoilers in the video, but I get the feeling that when I'm done watching it, the main character Yasuke, there's nothing really else left for him to do. You know what I'm saying? If there's gonna be a season 2, I don't know. I haven't heard anything yet. But if there is gonna be a season 2, where do you There's like it kind of left a lot hanging in terms of like where do you go from here? That's why I gave it a 7. Now we're gonna talk about the actual show. So the actual show was pretty solid. About Black Samurai. The reason why I watched it in the first place was because it was about a black samurai. I'm black, and I like swords and shit. Like, for me, Zoro's my favorite character in all the anime. So I was like, oh yeah, it's lit. Black samurai. Like, okay, let's get right. Let's get right. So it did that. They had him. He was a slave who turned into a servant of the emperor, who trained and worked his way up to become one of his personal samurai. And I thought it was very racist, low key, because it was like, because one of the antagonists was saying a servant will always be a servant. That was a line that was very prevalent in the series between episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 as well. A servant will always be a servant. And I'm like, why can't why can't I level up? Why couldn't he level up to be who he wanted us to be? Like, I know in like those times in Japan, it was like the 1500s, 1600s. The old way was the way. Even now, like, the old way is the way. But it kind of like, why can't change be a good thing? You know what I'm saying? That was like the constant battle within the anime, new versus old. And it kind of challenged where a guy who was a servant, who was before that a slave, becoming a very powerful swordsman who had the respect of the emperor of the nation. And you see that, and you see like, okay, why is this happening? Why is this happening? But they didn't acknowledge the fact that he was actually a good swordsman. They were just upset the fact that he was black. And even nowadays, like, someone could be great at something, but the fact that they're black, or the fact that they're Asian, or the fact that they're Spanish diminishes that entire thing just because of their race and how they identify themselves. And that's one of the things that, although like it was very like cringy to see as a black man, I did appreciate it because he was nice. He was nice with the shits. He was definitely elite in swordsmanship. And to see that, and to see him grow, like, not grow up, but him like remember everything that happened in the war, even in the day, like your battles is always gonna be a part of you, whether you know it or not. So they had a lot of like deep messages within the anime that I really, really appreciated. The only reason it's a 7, to be honest, 7.5, is because it was very fast paced. I like my anime 13 seasons. If you're gonna give one season, bro, like definitely, if you're gonna give one season of something, be like Crunchyroll, or be like whatever these new anime, and give 13 episodes, 12 episode seasons. So like, all right, there's not a season 2, like, I bet. But 6 episodes, I feel like they could have done a lot more. Like, they could have gave more like backstory or him training for something, because This guy was already not OP, but he was already proficient in swordsmanship. So there was like an episode dedicated to him being like him as a kid. Like we don't even know his story. We just know he came from a village in I think Africa, and him becoming a slave. We don't know his story. So for a character, there was no like emotional like relatability because we don't know. Like for example, in Naruto, we're not comparing like Naruto. Obviously, Naruto is one of the best of all time. But in Naruto, you see the emotional investment off rip. You see him as a kid and you see him grow up. Yasan, he's already like he's old. He's older, so like you've seen him at his like oldest already. You don't see like him really training or anything like that. Like you see little flashbacks of him like trying to get his like not trying to get his powers, but him perfecting his craft. But you don't really see anything too crazy. But that's just me though. Also, I do like the animation though. The animation, especially with like samurais and sword fights, you can be over the top or you can be like meh. And there were times where it was both. Like that's why I liked it because there were times where the samurais was going crazy, but the fights were, in my opinion, sometimes too over the top. Alright, so they had some Gunga mech freaking monstrosities with magic and shit. So you had magic and you had swordplay together. So I feel like the blend of those two, I don't. That wasn't it for me. That wasn't it. Like they tried it. It was something new, something different. But magic and swordplay, I don't know. It could be done. Black Clover does that a lot, but the way they do it is totally different. Like the magic it goes like in tandem with the swordplay. Like you had the swordplay, and then you had the magic like right next to it. Except at the end where Yasan or Yasuke, however you want to identify him as, Yasuke and the woman he was trying to protect, Saki, she was like one of the like she was a prodigy or whatever. They combined their powers together and they defeated the Daimyo. Like okay, like if they had more of that within the series, then like I would be like, I bet, like that's valid. But it only happened once, and I was like, okay, like I guess. But to end it all, I enjoyed it. My advice to if you're gonna watch it, like it's a lot of blood. Is if you're not a fan of like gore and shit, hesitate to like be prepared for it. I just think I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I gave it a 7 because it was too fast paced, but I think you should watch it. There are a lot of things that open your eyes about even like between like you can connect a lot of the story to your own personal life and people around you. So there's a lot of messages, and he's a black samurai, so you gotta hold it down for the black samurai. Come on now. Now I ain't saying he's no Afro samurai, but for me, he did his thing. He did his thing. But that's all I got for today. If you're gonna watch it, definitely watch it. Hack your friend's Netflix or borrow someone's Netflix to watch it. Yeah, so drop a like, subscribe if you're new, tell a friend to tell a friend, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.